Everybody, it's Ann Kaplan from Mom Meet, your mama resource from conception to college. Wherever you are in your momming journey, we are here for you. And this week, the theme in the group is power struggles. And if you're a mom, especially a mom of a toddler or a teenager, you know already that power struggles are something that often characterize our lives as moms. But today is Wednesday. It's my baby mama day. It's my day that I'm talking to all of you mamas out there who are pregnant, getting ready for a baby, just had a baby. And what I want to talk about today when it comes to power struggles is the power struggle that you might not even realize happens within you during your birth. And it's the key power struggle that if we can master and understand and kind of make it work in our favor, is the easier and less uncomfortable and smoother delivery. So let's talk about that. If you've taken any childbirth classes already, if you've read any books, especially Ina May's Guide to Childbirth, you already know that there's a really amazing process that happens in our brains while we're in labor, wherein this front part of our brain, the part of our brain that's analytical, that makes decisions, that can do math and remember our social security number and all of those things, kind of shuts down when we're in really deep labor. When we get into that like transition and really active part of labor, this part of our brain shuts down, and the back part of our brain, your monkey mind, your primal part of your brain, your brainstem part of your brain, your autonomic nervous system part of your brain takes over. And that part of your brain is the part of your brain that controls all of your autonomic nervous system and all of your involuntary bodily functions, like your heartbeat, your breathing, your having to go to the bathroom, like all of the things that happen that our body does without our control, that we don't actually make our intestines and digestion work consciously. It just happens. Guess what, you guys? Birth is the same. The only difference about birth is that we kind of have control over it still. But it's an illusion of control. So what I want to talk about today is this power struggle that happens in our mind between this primal part of our brain and the thinking part of our brain. That primal part of our brain is what really does control birth. It's the part of our brain that decides how much oxytocin to send and how to respond to the sensations of our labor and to release endorphins so that we can handle the sensations of our labor, and also even tells us that we need to move in different positions to make room for the baby and help the baby turn and move during birth. All of those things come from your monkey brain, your primal brain. And your thinking part of your brain, all it can really do while you're in labor is block your birth from happening. I know that we, especially us type A and takes one to know one kind of people, really love to think that if we can just learn a ton of stuff and make really smart decisions and stay in control and stay on our A game, using that thinky part of our brain, that we can really make sure that our birth is going to go the way we want to. And that is not true. The best thing that you can do at your birth is to surrender completely and give up control so that your body, that part of your brain that does its thing without you thinking about it, can do what it needs to do. And that is really, really challenging and hard to do sometimes, but it is possible. And so what I want to do right now is just give you 3 little tips that help and let this part of your brain lose the power struggle and let this part of your brain just do what it's been put on this earth to do, this amazing thing that your body can do. The first thing that I want to advise you to do when it comes to getting your body and brain ready to lose this power struggle so that you can win your birth is really think about anything that's coming up for you prenatally that's about fear or anxiety about your birth. Whether you're afraid of the pain, you're nervous about people being in the room, the people that might be at your birth, your mother being there with you, like whatever little worries or preoccupations you might have coming up to your birth. And this also pertains for you when you're in labor. If a fear is coming up for you, address that fear. Don't deny that fear. Don't tell yourself you're not going to think about it, because fear is a big thing that keeps us from giving up and going into that surrender place. Fear will block your labor. The hormones that come out when you're fearful and nervous and scared actually stand like adrenaline serves to block contractions and make them less effective. And when you're afraid, it's really hard to let yourself trust that your birth is going to go the way you want and stop trying to think it and control it. So the biggest thing that you can do to help yourself is not learn all the different positions. It's not practice coping skills. It's not learn about anatomy and physiology. It's get emotionally ready for this birth. So that's tip number one. Tip number two is create a space that's going to make it easy for you to feel trusting and confident. And that means two things. So this second tip is really tips 2 and 3. First tip, be really mindful about the people who are going to be helping you, your birthing team, whether you have a midwife or a doctor, what staff is going to be there, what if you're going to have a doula, and your partner. Make sure that the team of people that is helping you have your baby is a team that you can trust and surrender in that team's care, that you know that you're in good hands and you don't need to control the situation or do anything like that. You have done a really great job of creating a team that knows your wishes and is going to honor those wishes, even if you're in a place where you can't speak for yourself because you're just totally in labor land. That's tip number 2. Tip number 3 is be just as mindful about where you're having your baby. It matters. If you don't feel comfortable in a hospital, it's going to be really hard for you to relax and surrender to your labor when you're in a hospital setting. If you don't feel comfortable giving birth at your home, you should definitely not have your baby at home, because not being able to feel comfortable and safe and supported in that environment is going to stop you from being able to do what you need to do and let your monkey mind win that power. Mindful about where you have your baby. And if you decide that you want to have your baby in a hospital, not all hospitals are created equal. Look around and make sure that the place you've chosen to have your baby is a place that you really feel like you can let yourself go there. So those 3 tips are obviously just the tip of the iceberg in birth planning and getting ready for a birth. This is just a tiny little microcosm of what I talk to my pregnant clients about. And if you want some more help in planning your birth and feeling really confident about your birth, and especially this emotional and mindset preparation for your birth, reach out to me, because this is something that is really, really, really powerful. And even though I spend a lot of time talking about parenting in this group, the first way that I got into family work that I do right now is by being a doula. And I still am a doula, and I love talking about pregnancy and birth. So hit me up. And I'm also going to include a link in the comments to this video to a masterclass that I taught about a year ago about planning your confident birth on your own terms without feeling judgment or pressure or fear or anything like that. So that is one other way that you can dig deeper into all of this stuff and really get yourself set up for success. Love you guys so much. Stay tuned. Tomorrow, I'm going to be back to the parenting side of things, and I'm going to be talking about how to minimize power struggles with your kids. Love you guys so much. Have a great day.